The school board told me this town wasn't worth saving. My students couldn't hear, couldn't run, and some were barely surviving. But they had heart, and when I was offered a chance to leave them behind, let's just say I made the choice that nobody saw coming. If you ever felt like you were counted out, like no one believed in you, this story is going to hit home. Hit that like button, subscribe, and stay with me, because this is one of the most emotionally satisfying revenge stories you'll hear all year. You ever hit a point in your life where you look in the mirror and wonder if you were ever actually good at anything? That was me, Jack Rourke. Once a name on cereal boxes. Olympic sprinter. Fastest man in the country. Until one tendon snapped later, and I was yesterday's news. After the injury, everything fell apart. Sponsors dropped me. Marriage? Gone. My bank account? Dust. I ended up sleeping on a friend's couch in Chicago, flipping burgers just to survive. Then one day I got a letter from home. Copper Ridge, a mining town nobody even talks about anymore. The kind of place you only go back to when there's nowhere else left. My old high school was shutting down. Budget cuts. Enrollment down. No future. But there was a catch. If the school could somehow win regionals in track and field, they'd get state-level attention and funding. One last shot to prove they were worth saving. I should have laughed. I almost did. But instead, I packed my duffel, hitched a ride, and went home. Copper Ridge was worse than I remembered. Storefronts boarded up. Streets empty. Hope dead. I walked into the school gym like a ghost from the past. Principal Garcia, God bless her, hugged me like I was a miracle. She begged me to coach. I said no, until I met the team. There was Sam, deaf since birth. The girl could barely follow commands, but had legs like lightning. Then there was Tasha, 16, and a mom. She'd run from everything, except her problems. Omar, a refugee kid who flinched every time a locker slammed. PTSD from things no kid should have seen. And Darnell, fresh off juvenile probation. Tattoos, anger, and a chip the size of Texas. I looked at them and thought, we don't stand a chance. But something in their eyes, like they wanted to believe. So I said yes. Training wasn't practice. It was therapy. Every drill brought out demons. Sam couldn't hear the starting pistol. We rigged a strobe light. Tasha brought her baby to practice in a stroller. Omar had panic attacks when crowds gathered. Darnell almost punched a referee for calling a false start. And me? I limped the track, barking orders like some washed-up wannabe coach, wondering if I was doing any of this to them or just trying to fix myself. The other coaches mocked us. One said out loud during a meet, "That's not a track team. That's a charity case." That night, Sam cried into her notebook. Tasha almost quit, so I brought them all together. I said, they don't think we belong here, but let's show them what broken people can do when no one's watching. And that was the turning point. We started winning. First one meet, then another. Not by talent, by grit. Kids from rival schools started whispering, Copper Ridge ain't a joke anymore. But just as we started building momentum, life came calling. An old sponsor reached out, wanted to sign me as a motivational speaker. Full rehab package, 6 figures, new city, clean slate. It was everything I dreamed of after I lost the Olympics. But I'd have to leave before regionals. The night before my decision, I saw Sam practicing alone. No lights, just running laps in silence, over and over. She stopped out of breath and signed to me, "Please don't go." That was it. My gut made the choice before my brain did. I turned the offer down. Stayed, because these kids weren't broken. They were just like me, abandoned, underestimated, and ready to fight. Regionals came. Bleachers packed. Every school that laughed at us was there. And guess who else showed up? The school board, press, state reps, all waiting to write our obituary. Sam ran the 100-meter dash with a strobe light, came in second. Tasha, who trained while pushing a stroller, won the 400-meter. Omar collapsed after his relay, tears in his eyes. He didn't win, but he finished, something he hadn't done in years. Then came Darnell's final event. The boy flew, ran like the devil was chasing him. And when he crossed the finish line, we'd done it. We won regionals. The crowd went wild. But the loudest noise? Silence from every person who ever said we didn't belong. The same school board who had planned to shut us down, now begging to shake my hand on camera. Same coaches who laughed, wouldn't even make eye contact. Darnell got offers from colleges. Omar started leading group therapy. Tasha enrolled in night school. And Sam? She's training for the Paralympics. Me? I didn't just find redemption. I found purpose. Sometimes, revenge doesn't look like screaming at your enemies. Sometimes, it's showing them you were never the problem. They just couldn't see your worth. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button and drop a comment. Have you ever proved someone wrong when they said you'd never make it? And don't forget to subscribe for more real stories about justice, redemption, and the sweet taste of payback. People talk about underdog stories like they end at the finish line. That once you win, everything gets easy. But that's not how it works. Winning regionals didn't magically fix Copper Ridge. It didn't erase decades of decline or rebuild the broken homes my students came from. But for the first time in years, something shifted. The local diner reopened. A retired mechanic started teaching shop class again. A few parents came back from out of state just to see what the hell was going on in this town they'd given up on. We got a visit from the local news, then state reps, then ESPN. Yeah, that ESPN. They wanted to do a special on the forgotten team. You should have seen Sam's face when they handed her a microphone. She couldn't hear the questions, but she smiled anyway and signed, "We are not broken. We are rising." She said that over and over again. We are rising. And she was right. But with rising came pressure. Suddenly, people expected us to win, expected the team to be a symbol of hope, of resilience, of everything this place hadn't been for decades. Tasha got overwhelmed. Between classes, parenting, and media interviews, she hit a wall. One night after practice, I found her sitting by the bleachers, staring at her phone. Her ex had shown up again, threatening to take custody. She said, "Coach, I don't think I can do this anymore." I looked her in the eyes and said, "You've already done more than most grown adults ever do, but I'll fight with you. You don't have to carry it alone." We got her legal help, quietly, off the radar. And when she stepped back on that track 2 weeks later, something was different. Not her speed, not her stride, her belief. She believed she deserved to be there now. But not all stories have clean arcs. Omar relapsed, not into drugs or anything like that, into silence. He stopped showing up, wouldn't return calls. I found him sitting on the roof of the gym one night, just staring at the mountains. He said, "Coach, sometimes I feel like I escaped a war just to land in another one. Everyone wants me to be a symbol. I'm just tired." I didn't have a speech for that. Just sat with him in the quiet. Sometimes silence is a speech. Eventually, he came back, not for the team, for himself. We added counseling to our program. Didn't wait for the state. The kids helped each other. They shared pain, not just laughs. And Darnell? The colleges loved his times, but the old charges kept coming up. Every scholarship meeting ended with polite excuses. So he did something wild. He made a speech in front of a board of trustees, told them how he used to run from the cops, and now he runs toward a finish line. He said, "You don't have to give me a scholarship. Just come see me race." They did. He got in. And me? Offers started coming in again. Not just as a speaker now. Actual coaching jobs. Big schools. 6-figure salaries. Clean facilities. One night, I got a call from a recruiter at a Division I school. She said, "Jack, you've proven you can turn trash into treasure. Imagine what you could do with real talent." I almost said yes. Almost. But when I looked out our crack track, at the bleachers half covered in rust, and the kids doing suicide sprints as the sun set over this busted little town, I realized something. I had real talent, right here. They just needed someone who believed that before everyone else finally did. And maybe so did I. So I stayed. Not because I had to, because I wanted to. Because revenge isn't just proving people wrong. It's proving yourself right. And that's the most powerful thing I've ever done.